Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden. My name is Dylan Zwick, and I'm glad to be leading worship today. We're proud, honored, and excited to be joined today by our guest minister, Reverend Bruce Russell-Jayne, a name some of you who have been with this congregation a while may remember. The theme for our third Sunday services is, who are we called to be in these times? Thank you all for joining us here today. We're so glad you're here in this community that strives to be loving, inclusive, and compassionate. One way to connect with this community is to let us know you're here. If you're a newcomer, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We encourage you to fill out a newcomer card in the pews and put it in the offering basket when it comes by later. And please stay and chat with us after the service. If you're joining us online, hello. Please fill out the newcomer card online. If you have been a long-time member of the congregation, we encourage you to wear your name tag. This helps everyone feel more connected and helps our newcomers get to know you more easily. If you haven't already, please put your phones on silent. And please remember, there are 2 exits from this room, right here and here, and 2 exits from the building in each direction. We are so glad each and every one of you is here. Welcome. Russell-Jayne served in UU ministry in Illinois, right here at this church from 2005 to 2007, in Ohio, and as a chaplain at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. He and his wife, Cece, are now retired and live in Carmel, Indiana, just a few miles from their grandchildren. They are members of All Souls Indianapolis, where they help maintain the butterfly garden and All Souls Trail. In recent years, they've been getting into good trouble working on the climate emergency. Reverend Russell-Jayne will now join us in reading the opening reading, which is an excerpt from the 2005 report by the UUA Commission on Appraisal entitled, Engaging Our Theological Diversity.
Hello there, Ogden. It's really good to visit you all again. I'm hearing a little bit of a feedback loop here, but I'll try to work with it. Anyway, it's been 20 years since we were there. Cece and I really enjoyed our 2 years in Utah and serving this congregation. And I recognize a couple of people that I knew from then, Brent Johnson for one. Hello. See if I can stop the feedback loop. Can you all hear the loop?
Yep, it's good.
You can't? Okay. Well, I'll deal with it. Just a sec. Okay. Our reading this morning is an excerpt from a 2005 report by the UUA Commission on Appraisal entitled Engaging Our Theological Diversity. 3 years of study and conversation have not brought us to a complete consensus about a common core to our faith. Yet we have found much common ground along the way. Respecting the integrity of individual perspective, we offer the following statements as descriptive of who Unitarian Universalists are theologically. We are a grounded faith. We are a faith with roots, however lightly held, that go back 2,000 years and more. Our faith is solidly grounded in both history and the realm of ideas. We are an ecological faith. The interdependent web concept of our seventh principle is not new to history. The net of Indra in Hindu and Buddhist thought has been around for several thousand years. But in the West, this vision of interconnectedness has had an uphill struggle to displace a more hierarchical vision of the nature of the cosmos. We have placed the web squarely at the center of our shared worldview. We are a profoundly human faith. Whether we see our charge as loving our neighbor or ending the suffering of all sentient beings, whether a transcendent dimension is part of our worldview or not, our primary focus for religious action is the well-being of this world. We wrestle with our ideas about human limitation and human power and acknowledge that our understanding is imperfect. We are a responsible faith. At our best, we are able to respond to our deep sense of interconnectedness with both the natural and human worlds. We understand that humanity must take its responsibility for the state of the world seriously. We have the ability to ameliorate suffering if only we find the will to do so. We are an experiential faith. We are focused more on experience, our own and that of trusted others, past and present, than beliefs. We do not hold with beliefs that contradict our experience, although we recognize that there are realities that can draw us beyond the present limits of our knowledge. We are a free faith. We are free both as individuals and as congregations. We recognize the authenticity and integrity of each individual's life journey. Building your own theology resonates with us. We are a faith of heretics, from the Greek hieresis, to choose. We are an imaginative faith. We engage with image and story, garnering wisdom from many traditions and building bridges between them, making a place where creativity can flourish. We are a relational faith. While we support the individual journey, we ground it in caring community. Relational language occurs more frequently than any other in UU core of faith statements. We are a covenantal faith. We are held together from our Reformation roots by our chosen commitment to each other rather than by creed, ecclesiastical authority, or revealed truth. We are a curious faith. Freedom and tolerance have been central to our tradition. We acknowledge that our perspective is limited, that we could be wrong, that we live in the midst of uncertainties, yet we are ever open to new insights. Thank you. So I'm not hearing you. Okay. Okay. I once participated in a UUA workshop led by the Reverend Philip Lund called Mission, Mission, Mission. Maybe you have been through such a process, as I found this on your webpage. Our mission is to create a caring, inclusive community that encourages freedom in the quest for spiritual and intellectual growth and the advancement of social justice in our world. This is a concise declaration of how your congregation wants to be known. The workshop began with a process that churches could use to create a vision, a mission, and a covenant, and then turn them into goals and action plans. So far, that was pretty straightforward stuff. But then the whole vibe of the workshop changed as Reverend Lund questioned whether most UU church mission statements inspired people. Do they really fire the imagination of folks so that they want to join us as we grow spiritually and take on difficult challenges such as we are currently facing? Would it let them know our church helps to transcend pain and suffering, to soothe their souls, and to liberate their minds? What if they want help with life's ultimate questions, theological questions, if you will, such as, what does it mean to be human? What created the world and caused me to be? What ideals should I strive for? Is there such a thing as divinity? How can I make a difference? How can we create a more wholesome future for our children and grandchildren? And what is our hope for the future of humanity and the world. Each of us will face questions like these in our lifetimes, and we need our church to help us create our own responses to them. The consolidation of the Universalists and the Unitarians into the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations was consummated in 1961. So we are in the 65th year of the UUA. My text for this sermon is an essay titled The Marketing of Liberal Religion by the Reverend David Bumbaugh, one of my professors at Meadville Lombard Theological School. He tells how, as a young Universalist minister, he had worked to bring about the consolidation, but when the final vote to consolidate was announced at General Assembly, he stood to one side of the huge hall and wept. He was fearful that something had been lost in the process, something vital to his sense of what church was all about. Members of the small Universalist church he served told how they had felt profoundly outclassed and inferior to every Unitarian they had ever met. And they feared Universalism would be swallowed up and relegated to the dustbin of history. Now, this is a side comment to that. I don't believe that it has. I believe we're more Universalist today than we are Unitarian, but that's another whole topic. The greatest period of influence of the Universalist and Unitarian churches, leading examples of the liberal religious impulse, was between the end of the Civil War and into the early 20th century. They engaged the challenges of new scholarship in religion and science, and they offered a faith with a vision of human progress toward a more ethical world. They concerned themselves with the plight of the marginalized, and the building of the kingdom of God was a human task to be engaged in this world, here and now. Then came a long period of decline during which both churches struggled to stay afloat. The consolidation was an effort to survive and hopefully to grow in new directions. But it wasn't just the historical significance of the Universalist Church of America that Bumbaugh felt was missing. He served our association for the next 50 years of his life, but he says, somewhere deep in my soul, there is a sense of loss. We have lost an important insight into the essential nature of religion and the role it plays in the life of the human community. In the decades when the Universalist Church was losing members, it engaged in explorations to find the essential theological message of universalism, one that would hold answers for the people of their time. Bumbaugh had participated in this process as it continued right up to the consolidation. The Unitarian Church, on the other hand, having experienced a spurt of growth in the 1950s, which they attributed to clever marketing, brought a perspective that was oriented more toward attracting new members than toward theological definition. Bumbaugh claimed that in the years since 1961, UUs have projected a profile to the world of a caring community that is intellectually stimulating, but not too religiously demanding. Our internal efforts at theological definition have been meant to cater to all and offend no one. Our religious education curricula teach our children about all the world's religions, but they don't bind them to our church. Over the last 5 decades, we have tried all the latest marketing ploys, but they have not brought us significant growth, nor have they provided a strong foundation for our religious movement. Our reliance on marketing is in a large part a response to the fear of defining ourselves. The first question most people ask about any church, "What do you believe?" is acutely challenging to most UUs. Is there anything so essential about Unitarian Universalism that we feel compelled to tell others about it? I believe that there is. That resting on top of our religious diversity is broad agreement on a core set of ideas most of us share that bring clarity about who we are. Near the end of his career as a UU minister, professor, historian, and author, Reverend Bumbaugh spelled out what I call liberal religion's core beliefs. I quote Reverend Bumbaugh. We believe that the universe in which we live and move and have our being is the expression of an inexorable process that began in eons past, ages beyond our comprehension, and has evolved from singularity to multiplicity, from simplicity to complexity, from disorder to order. We believe that the earth and all who live upon the earth are products of the same process that swirled the galaxies into being, that ignited the stars and orbited the planets through the night sky, that we are expressions of that universal process, which has created and formed us out of recycled stardust. We believe that all living things are members of a single community, all expressions of a planetary process that produced life and sustains it in intricate ways beyond our knowing. We hold the life process itself to be sacred. We behold the life process itself to be sacred. We believe that the health of the human venture is inextricably dependent upon the integrity of the rest of the community of living things, and upon the integrity of those processes by which life is bodied forth and sustained. Therefore, we affirm that we are called to serve the planetary process upon which life depends. We believe that in this interconnected existence, the well-being of one cannot be separated from the well-being of the whole. That ultimately we all spring from the same source and all journey to the same ultimate destiny. We believe that the universe outside of us and the universe within us is one universe. Because that is so, our efforts, our dreams, our hopes, our ambitions are the dreams, hopes, and ambitions of the universe itself. In us, and perhaps elsewhere, the universe is reaching toward self-awareness, toward self-consciousness. We believe that our efforts to understand the world and our place within it are an expression of the universe's deep drive toward meaning. In us, and perhaps elsewhere, the universe dreams dreams and reaches toward unknown possibilities. We hold as sacred the unquenchable drive to know and to understand. We believe that the moral impulse that weaves its way through our lives luring us to practices of justice and mercy and compassion, is threaded through the universe itself. And it is this universal longing that finds outlet in our best moments. We believe that our location within the community of living things places upon us inescapable responsibilities. Life is more than our understanding of it, but the level of our comprehension demands that we act out of conscious concern for the broadest vision of community we can command, and that we seek not our welfare alone, but the welfare of the whole. We are commanded to serve life and serve it to the 7 times 70th generation. We believe that those least like us, those located on the margins, have important contributions to make to the rest of the community of life, and that in some curious way, we are all located on the margins. We believe that all that functions to divide us from each other and from the community of living things is to be resisted in the name of that larger vision of a world everywhere alive, everywhere seeking to incarnate a deep, implicate process that called us into being, that sustains us in being, that transforms us as we cannot transform ourselves, that receives us back to itself when life has used us up. Not knowing the end of that process, nonetheless, we trust it, we rest in it, and we serve it. Bumbaugh's statement of beliefs is not the only articulation of these ideas we might use. As much as we might like it, we must guard against turning it into a creed. It certainly is far too long to be an elevator speech, and it will not easily be reduced into a mission statement. Nevertheless, it does give expression to some key concepts for Unitarian Universalism. It avoids the dreary debate so prevalent in past decades between humanists and theists, between spirituality and rationality. It offers a kind of theism that can accommodate various ideas about God or no God. Bumbaugh says, most importantly, it seeks to define a religious position that provides us a distinct location within the spectrum of religious alternatives available in the world. As UUs, we are called to serve the most life-giving vision of community we can imagine. Bumbaugh's set of beliefs can provide us grounding for our lives and work in the world, and give us direction when the shape of our world changes. They help us to recognize that ultimately we are responsible to the larger sacred context out of which we have come and in terms of which we live. They can help us create answers to the great theological questions and to feel connected to something larger than ourselves. So might this be. Thank you and amen.
continue our collective prayer by coming forward to engage in our weekly ritual that helps us to collectively hold the challenges and joys of being human. As you light a candle, let it hold your hopes, memories, and gratitudes for this beautiful, complicated world and for our lives. And as you drop the stone in our sacred gathering waters, may it be an opportunity to imagine those burdens and quests for forgiveness held in a community that will let the stone land with care and intention. Please come forward. Thank you all. Our offering is a practice of gratitude for this community, filled with care and courage, love, and resistance. We commit to keeping this community resource for the ministries ahead, both in our walls and beyond. The offering we collect each week supports us in being the community that can best respond to the needs of these times. As we collect our offering today, we remember our interconnectedness and interdependence, and we generously offer our care with hopes to support all through these times. Please rise in body or voice, and facing the center aisle, sing together the offering song printed in your order of service. Your abundant generosity is part of modeling care and love. Thank you. All right, a few announcements. Our book club meets on the third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. in the First Presbyterian Library, so just cross the hall and a little bit down that way. Their next meeting is this Wednesday, February 18th, and the book is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. The book for next month is Let Them by Mel Robbins, and that book club meeting will be on March 18th. Codger Coffee, as always, meets at 9:30 a.m. at the Grounds for Coffee on Harrison. So if any of you want to talk to other Unitarians and some others who are interesting in a slightly less formal environment, Codger Coffee is a great way to do it. 9:30 a.m. pretty much every Friday, the Grounds for Coffee on Harrison. All right. Our closing hymn for today is number 368. Oh, sorry. Suzanne, I think, has an announcement as well.
So, Reverend Russell-Jayne, you have come a long way, as have we. He came to my house a long time ago, and it was to tell me about universal, whatever we are, Unitarian, Universalist. And Reverend Jayne, you talked mainly about yourself. So I was a little nonplussed. I really, to tell you the truth, like CC better. Now, I see who you are, and it's been a long process for all of us, evolving. And I got to put a plug in for my show. This is the last time, I promise, I keep my promises, that you can buy any of my artwork except what is in my show, I'm Roofless, Not Homeless. All the money I'm making, and Peter did a great job last Saturday. He made over, I think it was $1,029. And the Saturday before, it was over $1,000. So because of you and my friends and everybody else, you're helping my exhibition to travel around the country. Next place will be Corvallis, Oregon, where I grew up. So you have to call me and let me know when you want to come. We're leaving for Death Valley on the 21st. It has to be before the 21st. And we have a lot of vases, everything now, no more butter dishes, from $69 to $5,000, $10,000 for drawings, etc. Unframed drawings are $800. So I'm making it as quick as I can, Dylan. I hope to see you. My phone number is 801-479-5035. Or you can call Peter, 801-791-6442, before the 21st. So I hope you'll help support I'm Roofless, Not Homeless, which supports the shitty way we treat homeless people in our country. That's all.
As the service comes to an end, please join me in saying the chalice extinguishing words in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. Thank you all, and please join us for leave coffee and conversation across the hall. Thank you all.
Over in the other building.
Oh, over in the other building, yes, sorry. So across the parking lot and in the church education building, second floor gymnasium. Thank you.